right.
Oh, I love it, love it, love it. Hello. Turn up the volume. Volume key. Hello there. Are you there? It's Wednesday, and I'm here. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. What's happening, everyone? Happy, happy, happy Wednesday to you. Happy Wednesday to you. Hello there, Instagram. Hello there, YouTube. Hello there, Facebook. What's happening, Malaysia? David Peterson. He wins. He's the first one here. Hey, you guys. Well, I just jumped off a plane. And as you see, well, over here, you see my luggage right there. That's part of it. Whoo! Getting ready to come here, but I could not wait. Leslie, Jeannie, hey, everyone, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. Phil sends his apologies and his I miss yous to all of you. He's got some stuff going on, sis, and he cannot make it with us today. But you know, I'm here and I love being here. It's been quite a week, hasn't it, you guys? Well, it looks like the government is open. And I just have to ask everyone. You know, we try not to be political on this show. Don't be mad at the Democrats because they opened the government. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. They are not the ones who are making our health care prices go up. We had to open the government, you guys. Too many people are starving. There's no food being given to people who need it. It's ridiculous. What is going on? I think this is the first time I've ever spoken out completely. It's ridiculous what is happening. But you know what? The government is open. There are some new changes that are happening. Did you see what happened in all the elections last week? Hope is on the horizon, you guys. Let's just keep ourselves positive. That's the most thing we can do at this time, is to keep ourselves positive. Keep our focus on what we know is good and true. Be good to people. Be good to yourselves. Do your work. Keep a smile on your face. Deal with all the things you need to deal with, all the challenges. And remember, it's one step at a time. It's one person at a time. And foremost, your vote counts. Your voice counts. So use it. This is the time. Let's use it. Let's stay focused, because I may not be here for another 40 or 50 or 60 years. But I know for those, the next generation, I want to make sure this world is in a better place. So let's stay together, you guys, and keep the vision possible. You see how I did that? Oh, my goodness. So I just got back from Atlanta. It snowed in Atlanta. Did you guys hear that? It snowed in Atlanta in November. It was crazy. I was at the studio. The murmurs had gone on. It's snowing, y'all. It's snowing. I looked outside. There were strong snow flurries. Now, did anything stick? No, it didn't matter. It was snowing, though, in Atlanta. And my darling friend, who is going to join us, Atlanta is a heartbeat for her. This woman is amazing, Jaaz Jones. I am so excited to share her with you. And I'm going to pause there because, you know, I could go on and tell you more about Jaaz, but you know how I like to introduce my folks. And so I'm going to introduce this incredible, amazing woman in the way I always love to. take a moment.
What?
Come on now. You know,
Look,
you know what I forgot. Come on.
you make me want to go to my own party.
Come on now,
Come,
girl. Come on now, baby.
come on.
Hey,
Ah,
gorgeous.
oh my goodness, it's been so long.
I just visited Jazz in Texas, and then I went from Texas to Atlanta to work. And guess who was on her way to Atlanta the same day I was? And we sat next to each other. Wasn't that fabulous?
Yes,
We worked that out really
yes,
good on the airplane.
yes.
Jazz,
that's how we fly.
that's how we fly, and that's how we flow,
Yes,
flowing through
that
life.
part. Flow.
So, you guys, you saw that empowerment energy worker. I mean, and an international um, book author. I'm just so excited, Jazz, with your work, and I not only want to talk about your work, baby. I forgot to mention your wine, though. So we're gonna mention your wine later on. Floasis Cellars wine.
You know,
Let me tell you something. D- Always
cheers
be
to
prepared.
you.
Cheers to you, baby. I'm drinking water right now. I need my, because let me tell you, I need my wits about me.
Yeah, back to you,
Oh, baby,
darling.
cheers,
Yes,
baby.
yes.
IW So,
Why
Jazz,
not?
wine,
Yes.
wine, not right, Jazz. Before we get into, because I want to not only hear about what you do, but coming to what you discovered about you and how you became you. But what do you do, Jazz? Tell us about you.
I just breathe into possibilities and help others do the same.
Come on now.
So I'm an energy empowerment coach, if you want to label it. But truly, what I am here and how I'm here to serve the planet is through the gift of breath.
Mm-hmm.
Breath is truly life, and everything is energy. But our most powerful energy that bridges us between the spirit world and the living world is breath. I want you to
Mm-hmm.
think back. You know what? I want you to just do something.
Hmm.
I want you to hold your breath. Now, hold your breath while I'm talking. Everyone, I want you to know how powerful your breath and your life is because in a moment, your very life giving self, it calls for the release. It's calling for your breath.
So
And
can
the
we breathe
greatest gift
now?
that we have is breath. You can breathe them. Well, and see, you were going to do it whether I told you to or not, right?
Because I want
Because
to live.
the life force within us says,
Mm.
breathe, breathe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to serve the planet in raising our vibration and connecting with breath. Don't just breathe, connect with breath. It's where our power is, it's where our wellness is, it's our life force.
I just want to interject right here that you guys. So I went down to Texas to hang with Jazz. We had this planned for a few months, and we have done this before, breath work.
Mhm.
And she has an app, Mad Miracles app. Check it out, you guys. We'll mention it again through this. And this time, I really connected with the breath. And
Mhm.
I had some blocks open up within me in my own life. And it was amazing. And what you say about the power of the breath what is so true. And these exercises you've created are just fantastic. Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. And again, you can find the breath work on my app, on Mad Miracles app. And it's a series of breathing exercises, some that are ancient exercises, some that I've created in the dynamic of the work I do, and supporting individuals in releasing blocks to energy. And where the breath work comes from is, first of all, understanding and identifying that we're not just a physical body. We're an emotional, mental, spirit. etheric, astral,
Mhm.
causal bodies, right? And what breath does is when we center our attention on that, it allows us to align those energetic bodies. The breath exercises that I've created is really focused on some very specific dynamics, mainly being releasing those energy blocks. Where are those emotions blocked? That's the first place where it comes in. I don't want to feel that. We suppress our anger, we bury the sadness, and we hear a lot about trauma. Well, releasing that comes through releasing it in breath. You, you're in the entertainment business. You know how important it is to breathe, even in terms of from an acting standpoint, getting into character, right? Because our breath aligns us. So the breath exercises that I do and that I share with others is about releasing stress, which
Mhm.
sometimes can be overwhelming, right? Because what happens when fight or flight, right? We hold our breath.
Yes.
Think about, I want everybody to think about when you get upset, you start breathing, those nostrils flare, you start breathing really hard, right? Uh, in fear, we gasp, but we hold our breath. When we allow ourselves to connect with breath, it also helps us to identify where the blocks are in those emotions. And through my workshops, I take people through series of different breath exercises to identify one, where those blocks are and how to breathe into releasing those blocks. That's the
Mhm.
primary intention.
Now, how did you
So we
come
have
excuse me, go ahead. No, please.
uh, so one of the primary breaths, and what you learned is a new one that I was experimenting with you on, and it's a new one going up on the app, but it's Serpent of Light. Many people who practice energy, you've heard of our Kundalini, and looking at that Kundalini and where it can be released, right? Releasing that energy that helps to expand our creative energy, right? And so it's about expansion. And because I've studied energy for many years, been an energy empowerment coach. And as the more I come to connect and understand the energetic bodies, we have meridians flowing throughout our body. We have energy centers called chakras. And in releasing and unblocking those energy centers, right? There's certain breaths because everything's energy, right? It's a frequency. So the breaths that we can breathe into that will unblock our root chakra, that's going to unblock those, all of those various different areas based upon the pace of the breath, the depth of the breath, the height of the breath. Like you heard me when we were breathing, like breathing into heart, right? Where there's that heart energy, stimulating what we call chi, ki, depending upon the dynamic that you come from. But my focus is it's chi up with jazz. And so, how to release, unblock, and stimulate chi is where each one of these different breath design came from.
I love that. And you spoke earlier. God, I hope I remember my question. You spoke earlier about how it opens you up creatively.
Yes.
What? How?
Yes.
Why? How? And excuse me, is it just creatively, or let me add to that creatively, because in the entertainment business, or is it opening it up to your creative self, however you are?
Any area, because creativity is creativity. Entertainment is one way that we express that. Whether you sing, whether you act, whether you paint, uh, whether you build widgets, whether you are an AI creator, whatever your area of creativity is, meditation. When we go into meditation, right, it's focusing on our breath. there's breath work that we can do that helps to open up the blocks of that creativity. Because it's about releasing that energy. I always say everything that we need, we already have, it already exists. Our job is to remove the blocks to it.
To access it, to move out of the
Exactly.
way. Uh-huh.
Get out of our Yeah, get out of our own way. And we
Mm.
can breathe into, uh, for those who do meditation, when we're in a meditative state, the more focused we are on breath, it is a form of releasing.
Mhm.
In that release, it removes that block to creativity. Think about when you've had a creative block and you have to just step away. The more you try to force something to come out, the greater the resistance,
Oof.
the less the creativity flows.
Yes.
Right? So we
Yes.
step away, we redirect. When we step away, we redirect. If we go into breath, what that allows us to do is to get out of that mental energy because all blocks come in the mind, right? Even the emotional blocks that we have, we utilize the mind as the dam. It dams up that energy. What breath does is it allows us that space to get. I always say if you're not out of your mind, you should be. It's the best place to be, right? So we breathe out of our mind and
Mhm.
into the expansion of our energy. That was a breath that we did about expanding our energy, allowing the expansion to come in. And then what happens is the creativity. Think about those moments. Think about the moment when you were wrestling with something creative. You, right? You were, I saw you out there creating as we were walking, right? The more you got out of your head and
Mhm.
in the space of just allowing flow, the flow of your breath, creativity drops in because
Mhm.
it's already there. You just remove the block to it.
Mhm. It's like cleaning up the house. The house. Cleaning it up,
Exactly.
moving. I can feel that just when you were doing that because I'm so connected now with that. It really does. There's a calm that happens, an ease, a knowing. I was working on a soap, and those lines, you guys. There's so much material, and this particular day, I had tons of stuff, and if I didn't, instead of say if I didn't, in having the knowledge of the breath and the ease to stay calm and focus, not doubting whether the lines were going to be there, whether the words are going to come to me, made such a difference. And I noticed that it also creates a lovely flow of interesting little surprises that take place. For example, I got off the plane and there was a cart waiting for me right when I came around before I got to baggage claim. So I didn't have to go get a cart. I just grabbed that little cart and went
There you
on,
go.
and just
Mhm.
the littlest things that add up to make it a more comfortable day, a better day, a more comfortable life from that breath and a
Mhm.
connection to myself that's deeper. I think that is the one thing that I'm really fascinated with life. One of the many things is the older I get, the more I know I don't know everything. And
Yes.
and the more I'm open to learning. I'm hungrier now
Mhm.
to learn, I feel, even than when I was younger, you know? And
Yes.
so so with all of that with the breath, I want to come back to it, but I also want to go, Jazz. You have a past, you have a life. A lot of our people, it's called the vision is possible. And part of
Oh,
what we come from, you want to pick up your wine glass and have another sip, baby, before we discuss
okay.
this? Because so
Oh,
many people think, how did she or he get that? Or how did they get that position, that job, that way of thinking? And they come up with all of these stories. And I'd like to hear, where do you come from? What challenges did you have to What are some of them, if you wouldn't mind sharing, to go through to get to where you are now? And how did they help
Oh,
you become who you are now?
well, I want to share two very specific events. I like to call them C's, significant emotional events, right? And my first published book that you showed was In My Mother's Voice. And In My Mother's Voice is a collection of 30 quotes from my mother and the life lessons around those quotes. And where that came from, yes, that's my beautiful shero there, Mama Celeste. And where all of this came from, at the age of 7, my mother had a nervous breakdown,
Mm,
and I literally became her nursemaid and nursing her back to health, and felt responsible. I felt like I was my mother's caretaker, and I needed to take care of her. And where all of this came from was in her nervous breakdown. Without Read the book and you'll get the details, right? But
it's
life events
wonderful,
that
by the way, and written so creatively different. It's different. It's not. It's just a straight story. It's wonderful. Go ahead. Thank you.
yeah, and so I did not write the book to say, "Oh, I'm gonna write this book so because I wanna be a best-selling author," right? I wrote the book after my mother passed, and it was part of my cathartic healing.
Mm,
And the title, In My Mother's Voice, came about because I found 9 handwritten pages that my mother wrote at the age of 25, 3 years before she had me, that filled in the gap that helped me to understand where the nervous breakdown came from. Uh,
mm.
Brief synopsis: I'm molested and have to go to court. And that's when my mother has this breakdown after that.
When you were 7, baby.
And I was 7 years old.
Mm,
Um, and so that's why I felt responsible.
mm,
I felt like, it was my fault. I was responsible for my mother having this breakdown. What I did, what I didn't know then that I came to understand through life's past is that that was actually my breakthrough. It was my breakthrough of really coming to understand the value and the gift of forgiveness, understanding compassion, and it becoming a part of my path and my journey. And I couldn't teach what I teach unless I had experienced what I experienced. There's a saying that which we come to teach is what we are here to learn.
mm-hmm. Yes.
And so through that experience, I became an inspirational speaker, and my mother, uh, also, before there was a motivational speaker, my mother had a program called the 3 Ps: personalities, profiles, and projections, that she used to teach. And I would sit at her feet in awe because I knew what she had experienced. And I didn't know, quote, the title of what I wanted to be. I just knew I wanted to inspire.
Mm.
I knew I wanted to help people tap into their gifts, to use their stumbling blocks as stepping stones, because that was what was given me. That was a gift.
When you say forgiveness, who did you forgive? Yourself, your mother, your perpetrator? Who did you forgive?
All of the above. All of the above.
Why did you
You know,
forgive
eh,
the perpetrator?
Forgiveness is not excusing the act. Forgiveness is for the forgiver. And I forgave my perpetrator because it freed me from being stuck in a moment in time that was an event in my life. It didn't define who I was.
Hmm.
And that understanding of hurt people.
Hmm.
And so I removed the person and just saw a human being who faltered, as we all have faltered. And releasing that, forgiving that
Hmm.
allowed me, oh my gosh, it like broke my heart open from a place of compassion, right? Of
Hmm.
how many times should I forgive my brother, my sister? You know, countless,
Hmm.
right? Because not forgiving would have kept me stuck in a place.
Yes.
You know, and
Yes.
I say that in whatever happens in life, there's a lesson and there's a blessing. It's being open and available to us. So it's not what happens; it's how we respond to it. And so I pose the question: what is love for? Love is forgiving. So what is it that we're giving? And when we can give gratitude, when we can give compassion, when we give the fruits of love, when we give that, we open up the coffer. It's like that cleansing of the blocks. Forgiveness removes the blocks for the abundance of love and joy and gratitude. That's why I forgave my perpetrator.
Uh,
It was forgiving. It was forgiving. It wasn't excusing. It was in forgiveness of, there's a verse that says, Father, forgive them for they know not what they do,
mm-hmm.
right? That it was a moment that it was an event that happened. And it was for him to pay for that event. Yes, he went to jail. It was for him to pay for that. It was for him to heal his own spirit and his own
Mm-hmm.
pain for what he
Mm-hmm.
created, not for me to be responsible and take that pain on and carry it through my life.
That's right. That's right. I so agree with you, and that's why I asked you. I wanted you to share that, and for all of those who are listening who have been through something that Jazz has gone through, you may need to find someone to help you do that. But it does free you from it defining your life, from it
Yes.
blocking you from love from others, from receiving, from giving, from so many things. And it is not. I know you didn't do this with. Oh, that's easy. I'll just forgive. So don't think of that. And
Oh
it's
no,
not making
no.
light of any of that. I just want I want our listeners, our watchers, those who are joining us to be clear about that. But what this does in forgiving, it does. I'm so with you, Jazz. It opens you up, not just
Yes.
from this kind of an attack, but anything from anyone who you were angry with or been felt hurt from. Don't hold on to
You know what
that.
forgiveness does?
Come on, girl.
Forgiveness is not about freeing our perpetrators. Forgiveness is about freeing ourselves.
Freeing ourselves.
Forgiveness
That's right.
frees us.
That's
Yes,
right.
it frees us from the bondage of those low frequencies. It frees us from the bondage of resentment, of anger, of guilt,
Hmm.
of shame. Forgiveness frees us from that. And
Woo!
when we're free from that, then we can rise above and attain everything that's been blocked and have the treasure that's already waiting for us, the gifts of abundance that are already
Mm,
there.
mm,
Because what I do is I do trust that in a higher power, in God, in the universe, however you want to connect with it, for me, I trust in the divine spirit has my best interest.
come on, baby.
is
Come
on
on.
my side.
Come on. There is
And
protection that
because
is
I
there.
trust that there is nothing that can happen to me that I cannot grow from, I cannot become better from, I can't rise up from. You
Mm,
know, I you heard me refer to having a dip, right? I call them dips. That's to be deep in practice. I've been gifted and blessed with tools, and I believe that, when we are given gifts and tools, we have opportunities to utilize those tools.
mhm.
Forgiveness is one of those tools,
Come on, girl.
right?
Come on, girl. Yes. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. But including
Yeah.
forgiveness of self, y'all. It's just not
100%.
going
Well,
out. It's
that's the
forgiveness
first
of
place to
self.
forgive.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Completely. So then you can
Mhm.
truly forgive. You have to start there. Shame is such a
Absolutely.
part of our culture that
Oh,
some people
yes.
can wear as a badge of honor
Mhm.
as opposed to
Right.
looking to how you can turn that around and be more expansive in your life.
Right. So with that being said, so I mentioned about my mother in this book. So the interesting thing, before, energy, what is that? It's now become this new buzzword, but as a child, I was fascinated with the mental capacity because, again, my mom has a nervous breakdown, uh, went through depression, but my mother was also the very same person that poured all of these positive affirmations into me.
Mm, mm,
So from an observant standpoint, I just found it fascinating how an individual can energetically, I'm going to use that term now, understanding energy,
mhm,
can be consumed by darkness,
mm,
depression,
mm,
right? And at the other side of the spectrum can be positive and motivating and inspiring. And my curiosity around mental health
mhm,
was elevated to say, well, I get to choose. And that goes to forgiveness. I choose to forgive, right?
mm,
Forgiveness is a choice.
mhm,
And when we choose, again, choosing energies, right? When I choose to affirm my goodness, when I choose to be positive, when I choose to be grateful, what happens with that energy is this beautiful expansion. Just like, because, I'm one of those human beings like all of us. When I choose to be pissed off, you know, when I choose to whine about it without having good wine. But when I choose to be stuck, right? It's a choice. It's all a choice. My higher self recognizes from an egoic standpoint, oh, okay, I'm choosing this. And sometimes I'm going to sit with that. You know what? Right now, this is where I am. I'm going to sit with this moment and see what's here. What's here for me?
mm.
But always being conscious that whatever state I'm in, I get to choose. I get
That's
to
a
choose. And I
very
can,
powerful word. A very powerful
yeah,
action in life is to choose. No matter what anyone says to you or does to you, it is your choice on how you want to respond to that. And that
absolutely.
and then and it, how it affects you. And so many times we
Ab-
say, well, they did this to me and this is why I responded that way. Well, oh, okay, but truth is you chose to respond that way because you did not have to.
exactly.
You didn't have to.
And recognizing that whatever comes from that response, so that we don't get stuck in a place of judgment. And this is one of the things I talk about from an energetic standpoint. The better we understand the discernment of energy and to practice awareness versus judgment. right? If I make a choice that's not in my best interest, not in my favor, not allowing myself to get stuck in that energy of self-judgment, of blame and
Mm-hmm.
woulda, shoulda, coulda, and oh, if only,
Mm-hmm.
right? That keeps us stuck in that place.
Mm-hmm.
Taking 100% responsibility for whatever the choice is and say, okay, I made a choice. This was an outcome. I can choose differently. We can always choose it as long as we have what? Breath. We can always choose again.
Mm-hmm.
And there's power in that. There's freedom in
Choose
that.
again is very, very powerful to say too, because you can make a wrong choice or not
Absolutely.
as supportive choice, and then you can make a different choice.
Exactly.
You're never
Exactly.
stuck at all. And then you mentioned
Mhm.
there's a second thing. I want to just get this right in here from our Patricia Land. She says that's true.
Mhm.
Someone still hasn't forgiven me how I reacted to something he did, and my reaction really hurt him. I can't apologize it away.
Not at all.
What would you say to that?
Not at all. What I would say is I am only responsible for my actions and must take 100% responsibility for my actions. And I'm not responsible for anyone else's response or their actions,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, and everybody is where they are. And people who might be in the place of, well, I can't forgive you for what you did. What I would say to you, beloved, is that is not for you to take personally. It's for you to take accountability for whatever choice you made, but you're not responsible for how they move forward. That's that becomes their responsibility of how they get the gift, how they get the blessing and the lesson. And and it's coming to the place of understanding, as I said, everyone is where they are. And sometimes it's our ability to open up, let go, and trust because everyone's lesson is their own lesson.
And Patricia, who's just joining us, this ties into what we said earlier about forgiveness of self.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
sometimes we do things we don't want to hurt our friends, and then you feel bad about what's happened, even though you think they should forgive you or it should be okay. And then sometimes you just got to say, look, I did the best I could at that time, and
Hmm.
I can grow from it. I know I've been there. I can grow from that, and I can do better next time, or I'm going to forgive myself because I didn't do anything wrong, whatever it is. But it comes down to forgiving yourself so you don't hold on to that
Absolutely.
and
Because
block you.
forgiven, yes, and that's why I use the analogy of awareness versus judgment. Not getting stuck in judgment about yourself. Oh, what can I do? And I shouldn't have done that. What's the awareness? The energy of awareness is openness. Judgment is closed. There's no growth. You cannot move forward in judgment only out of
Mm-hmm.
awareness. So, Patricia,
Mm-hmm.
what I would invite you to do, my favorite life question is what is the thing for? Right? What did you learn from the experience? What can you grow from and grow to out of whatever this experience was? And the best way to show anyone that you're sorry for anything that you've done is how you choose to move forward in the future. Not repeating that. Being a better person to yourself and for yourself allows us to be better for others. So love
Thank
you
you,
first.
Miss Patricia, for sharing that with us so we could do. I'm so with you. Said that so well. You said that was
Mm,
that was so clear. That's so active. That's something that anyone can take from and go, okay, I can use
mhm,
that. You mentioned something
mhm.
else. There was a a, a a challenge for you that you grew from? What was that?
So the second thing, which led me to become or identify as an energy empowerment coach. I've been in the training industry in presentation, public speaking for my life,
Mm,
in various different aspects. And while doing this, I I'm also a runner, or was a runner for years, and I went to Austin. I moved to Atlanta from Texas, and another thing that I want to point out, and this is to everybody out there, we're constantly transitioning in our life, right? And what got you here won't get you there. And I
hmm
was in a place of transition. I'm in a new environment, and I am attempting to take in old baggage into the new environment. I'm going to operate over here the way I did over there, and that didn't work. I went for a run when I went to visit my daughter in Austin, and I caught a cramp in my back. And a dear friend in Atlanta kept telling me about this wonderful holistic doctor. Oh, you got to go see this doctor. And I was like, yeah, well, I will. Right now, I don't need that. I'm good. And every time we talk, she's like, have you called him? I'm good. I'd lose the number. I asked her 3 different times for the number. When I came back from this particular run, I caught a catch in my back, and I went to massage therapist. That didn't help. And one morning I woke up, and Iona, I literally had to crawl to the bathroom.
mm,
I
mm.
physically could not move. I am home alone on the third floor. There's not an elevator. So I'm stuck in this place. So I called my friend, and I was like, what's that doctor's name? And I went to see him, and here's what I knew, and this is what I'm inviting others to consider, is I knew that that wasn't about the pain in my back. I knew that my physical body was responding to some blocks.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hadn't sat down and taken the time. I kept pushing myself
Yes,
to,
baby.
quote, make it happen.
Yes.
And what I loved, and I went to, as you had an opportunity to meet the Hemke Center for Wholeness, and it
Dr. Mark.
became Dr. Mark Armstrong, and it was my calling card. I was already engaged in training on uh, communication and meditation, uh, and a certain level of energy work. But with Dr. Mark, not only did I go to Dr. Mark uh, to not just help me heal my back, but to holistically
Mm,
align my energy, which he's gifted. He's just absolutely gifted. And from there, I became a student and an intern. So I studied with Dr. Mark at the Hemke Center, where I extended my Reiki training, became a Reiki master, studying under him, studied energy management, mindfulness training, and from there continued my education and training uh, in many different endeavors, from REM, which is an energy uh, program, as well as what's called bars, which is about moving energy, access consciousness. So I took a deep dive into
mm,
holistic healing, and that's what the thing was for. It was for me to identify
mm,
my next level, and that was
mm-hmm.
that was 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm.
and and me falling down on my back helped me rise up to meet
Oh.
the
Ooh,
energy that
love
was
that.
awaiting me.
Yes.
Yes. And
Yes.
and that's why I said that, I believe that our greatest gifts come from our tragedies, our testimony, right? It's like whatever the test is,
Mhm.
whatever we're going through, that's an opportunity. It's a gift. We've heard that expression that when we ask God for patience, He doesn't give us patience, right? He gives us opportunity to practice that. So, whatever that thing is, that is called, whatever we're seeking is seeking us, right? And I didn't know the label of it, but it literally called unto me. And
Mhm.
it not only transformed my life, it blessed me to be able to help others transform theirs in the process.
I'm telling a
Yes.
story where I worked a job. Jazz knows this for a month. It was only a month, but you guys, it was intense. And it was very stressful, but I had hidden the stress from myself. I took care of my actor. I was coaching someone. I took care of producers, director, other people, and other actors on the show. And I'm the oldest, and I'm so used to doing that. I didn't realize how stressed I was, and 3 days later, I was in the ER. Doctor says to me, "You have something called diverticulitis, which has to do with the large intestines. It's a gut issue." And I went, "Mm-hmm. Thank you for the medical analysis," but I knew it was stress. And I knew I had to change the way I was working. I had to change what my thought process was, even about working. And from that, I got this job. And I know I switched quickly, and I know it was right there for me. And everyone could say, "Oh, it was just the time that it just was supposed to happen." I know it happened from me changing my own consciousness and my
Yes.
and paying more attention to myself, because I can, like a lot of people, especially women, we just don't think about how tender our hearts are, our bodies, our whole being, and we're constantly putting out. I'm not in that space any longer because it doesn't serve
Hmm.
me at all. And if I go down, a whole bunch of other people are going to go down with me. And so
Right.
I'm with you. That was my elevation. And from that, you and I made plans to get together. The breathing, elevation
Yes.
again. I've done 4 episodes, elevation again. I'm going back, just all sorts of things that are new and improved.
Exactly.
And that's why I'm so with you. Whatever setback, we're feeling always talking about this. Whatever setback, whatever challenge, whatever disappointment, whatever ailment, spend less time thinking about how bad it is and think about, what is it telling me? What does it want me to know? What is it teaching me? How
Yes.
can I use this to further what my dreams are, what my vision is for my life? And yes,
The setback is just the setup for the step up.
for the step up. I love that. The setback is just,
Exactly. It's a setup for the step up.
oh, I love it. We're having, don't freeze on me, Jazz. Oh no. Oh, there you are. Oh
There
good.
we
Oh
go.
good. I wanted
Oh,
to also bring back, Jazz, you have a second book, Women Who
yes.
Empower.
Yes.
Would you tell us about this book?
Women Women Who Empower is an anthology. It's a collection of 20 inspiring women from around the world uh, who
Oh.
have shared their story of empowerment. Women Who Empower happens to be the one that I collaborated on with my daughter, my partner, my joyful Jania, and it's us sharing our story about how we evolved in our relationship. And the company, our company is Mad Miracles. Mad Miracles is the collective. We have our own individual brands. She has Create a Magical Day, and I do Chi Up with Jazz. But we're this all began with In My Mother's Voice, the book, was the creation of the company Taste of Mad Miracles, which is transformational training. And this book, Women Who Empower, as I said, is a collective of 20 of a collection of 20, yes, 20 women from around the world who share their stories.
Mm-hmm. 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 That's
And
wonderful.
there's also Women Who Illuminate is also a part of the same publishing, uh, and that's also a collective.
Gotcha. Now, is that I saw the date on there is December 16. Is that when it's coming out or was it last year?
That was actually last year. Yes,
Awesome. So we
yes.
can get
So
that
it's
book.
already released,
Fabulous.
and you can actually get it on our website, on Mad Miracles website.
Okay. That's fantastic. Mad Miracles website and then it's Mad Miracles app as well.
Yes,
Okay. And
yeah.
that where
Uh, all of the books, all of the books can be purchased on the website. What the app consists of uh, is breathwork exercises. So you can go on, download those videos, and follow the exercises as well as some of the transformational training workshops. It's a training tool. The app is more of a training tool. On the website is the store. You can purchase books there, and the books are also on Amazon. But if you go to madmiracles.com, you'll see all of the books listed there.
I created a
Yes.
beautiful card for you with all of your contact information and it is not here because getting off that plane and running home to set up and finish everything so we could be here with you all tonight. But I will edit it into the video on YouTube and I'll also post it because you guys,
Wonderful.
I cannot tell you enough how these breathing exercises have been so good for me and I'm just so excited to see you next month after I've done it every day where I am. And then 2 months from now, it's
Yes.
because already, as I told you, it's been 2 weeks and the breakthroughs have been just really terrific. I'm not ready to talk about it right now, but I had something since I was a child. I've had this phobia. We all have little things that we carry with us. And I happened to mention
Mhm.
it to Jazz. I never mentioned it to I say maybe I was gonna say anyone. Maybe I mentioned to one other person in my life, and and I broke through it, and I'm so just
Bravo.
excited about that because it just
Yes.
not only broke through from that feeling, uh, but also I'm empowered through not having that concern anymore in my life or that fear or that trepidation and I'll share it with you guys one day because it's kind of a trip. It's
Mm.
oof,
Yeah.
but it feels
Well, yeah, so
so
you're
good.
in the process of. You're in the process of.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and I'm glad you shared that because one thing the impression I really want to leave with people and what I want people to get out of the value of breath work, of meditation, of all of this is about creating a practice of self care and self awareness. The greatest lesson that we are here to learn is the lesson of self. And the more self aware we become, the more we pour into ourselves, the more we can pour into others and give from our overflow. We're talking about women earlier. We are so focused and constantly trying to give, 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 give. And it's okay to be a giver, but what are you giving from? Are you giving from your reserve or are you giving from your overflow?
Mm-hmm.
You can serve better when you give from your overflow than when you are constantly trying to drain yourself. It's like when you drive the car and you're driving on fumes, you run out of gas and you're not going to get to where you're going. But when you take a moment, you stop and you fill up. Okay? And that's what practices are designed for. So, to everyone, just start taking a moment to connect with breath. Take a moment to meditate. And practice isn't about perfection, it's about presence. And that's really what you came to, Iona. It is the power of presence. You see, when we are in a state of worry, when we're a state of fear, worry comes from fretting and being concerned about something that has happened. Fear is the anticipation. In the present moment, if you practice in this very present moment and get present to your beingness right here and right now, there is no fear, there is no worry. It's all in the thinkingness and in what we're feeling. And breath allows us to connect with that present moment and know that when we, I am here now. And that's all there is. Period. So be here now. Because
That,
that's where life is, right here, right now.
that's right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I
Jazz
have a little formula.
Jones. You what, honey?
I want to give the listeners a takeaway.
I would
You
love
know,
that. I'd love that.
when you ask me about when we talked about some of my story, but when I tell you the gifts of the downloads and what has helped transform my life, I have this has been one of the most powerful practices that I've ever engaged in and that I've ever shared.
Hmm.
And it is called the Transformula. Okay. Now, everybody out there, and we were talking about this earlier about things that happen. We have all said, and I want to share this with Patricia. Patricia, you're wanting forgiveness. You're something happened, right? And we go into a place of I didn't intend to. I didn't intend to upset that person. I didn't I didn't intend to drop out of school. I didn't intend to be broke. I didn't, whatever it is, we have an experience in our life. We get to a place and we say, I didn't intend to. And everybody can say amen. Right. But what happens and where we get stuck is not in what we intend, it is what we attend that creates the results in our life. Where we give our attention to. The trans formula goes like this: it is to have a clear intention. First of all, what is it you want? And most importantly, in what you want, connecting with what do you want to feel? So, what is that intention? Clear intention plus focused attention equals divine retention. So, whatever I put my attention on is going to grow.
Mm-hmm.
I can intend all day long that I I want to be an actress. That's what I want. But if fear keeps me from pursuing that, if what I give my attention to is, well, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to wait tables and maybe something will come along and one day it'll happen. And then we go to all of we start going and putting our attention everywhere except for what we have that's really the true intention for our life, right? And then we end up 30, 40 years down the road and say, how did I end up here? This wasn't my intention. It was but it's where your attention goes. So get clear. And I start every day. So this is everybody's takeaway. Before you go to bed tonight, I want you to just get present as you're breathing. When I'm breathing, I am. And my I am station. See, for me, I am love. And in setting that attention, I am love.
I
What
am.
does that feel like, right? Feel into that. Mm, how does that feel? So, if my intention is to be love, where need I direct my attention to be that? When you ask me about how did I forgive, because my intention is to be love. So therefore, oh, let there be love. Where's my attention? My attention is on forgiving. My attention is on doing and exercising those things that are love. And anything that is not that, turning my attention away from that. And if I do that consistently, then what comes back to me is love. Pure and simple. So the takeaway is once you think about what that is, go to bed, meditate on that. When you get up in the morning, I want you to just write down my intention is. And throughout the day, you're going to set your alarm on your phone, on your little watch for every 2 hours after you've gotten up until the time you go to bed. And when that goes up, the question you're going to ask yourself is, what is my intention and where is my attention? My intention and my attention. And you just want to do, and it's a check-in, not a judgment. What's my intention today? Oh, my intention is freedom. Oh, okay. Mm, where's my attention? I've been scrolling emails for the last hour. Oh, okay. Is that serving my intention? And not to get into self-judgment, it is an opportunity to take a breath and shift your attention. It's a 30-second energy adjustment that will transform your life when you begin to practice that on a consistent basis, because that's awareness, not judgment. What's my intention? Where's my attention? Ah,
Jazz, and I want to throw this out because we're going to go soon, but I want to throw this out here because my darling canine says, ultimately, I want relief. So, how does that translate into what your attention is? It's not relief.
right. Here's the thing about intention is how do you want to feel? So if you want relief, what is behind that relief? Right? What's that deepest desire? What does the relief bring you? So you're going to be going through layers, because an intention is always going to be about a manifestation of bringing in. Relief is you want to let something go, right? So relief is an outcome of what you want to
The
have,
action.
but what is the intention that you want for your life,
Mhm.
right? So that's what I want to invite you. And who said that? KJ?
K9 Sweetie Pies, one of our
K-
Sweetie Pie,
okay,
K9.
K9, sweet
Yes.
pie. K9, once you have relief, what does that feel like? And what does relief bring you? What are you looking for it to bring you? So peel away those layers, and you're just going to write down what I want is, what I want is. Do that 5 times, because what happens is the deeper you get, then you connect. That's like people that say, oh, I want to be rich. Well, what does that mean? Right?
Hmm.
If you had what does that bring you? And it's getting to ultimately what it is, how we want to be. It's a beingness, not a havingness, not a doingness. It's a beingness. That's what a clear intention is about. Yes.
Well, you be fabulous, wonderful, and so inspiring.
Thank you.
And K9 says, thank you. To me, it'll feel like letting go of stress, worry, anxiety. So look at the positive side of that, baby, is that
Exactly.
I want to be love. I want to be open. I want to be more present. What is that in a positive? Because the result, to get to the result, there's an action, right? And a journey to get there. So what
Mhm.
is that? Think
And what
about
I would ask you, if what you've written down is you're free of worry, all of that, underneath that, what does that feel like? If there's no worry, if there's no stress,
it.
if there's no anxiety, when all of those, see, those are the blocks. Remove the attention from the blocks. When all of that is gone, canine, what does that feel like? And
Mm.
that's what you're going for.
I love that. That was rich. That was good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, K9. Thank you. Thank you, Patricia, for letting us use you tonight to inspire and
Yeah.
uplift and open all of us. Feel like peace. There
Mm.
you go, baby. Feel like peace.
Yes, there you go. Now, see, now you've tapped into that higher frequency. Oh,
Oh,
it. So I. Here's your takeaway, baby. Every day I can choose peace instead of this.
mm,
Right.
mm, mm. That's right.
What's my intention? Where's my attention? And if it's not on that, just remind yourself, I can choose peace instead of this. You are so welcome, K9.
I got
Mhm.
my
Mm.
willies are all up in there, all
Ooh,
up
I
in
love it when the light comes on.
there. I know, right?
K9, I want you to reach out to me. I want you to reach out to me and I want you to share your journey and your experience of practicing giving your attention on peace.
Yes.
Yes.
K9, so like for everyone, Jaaz, Jaaz Jones, Mad Miracles. You can Google and it'll take you right to the website. She's got all her contact information, and I'm going to add it to this also for you. And let me show you, y'all, before we leave here, where you can find Philly the Willie. Please do, K9. She'll remember. Look at that handsome devil. This is where you can
Yes,
find
he is.
me. I know, right? This is where you can find me. And we love you. And this is the show's info. Please, as K9 always does, write down. Please subscribe. Tell your friends about it. Tell them about us being here. And Miss Jaaz,
Mm.
thank you for gracing us. Thank you for being
Right.
the better part of my evening so far. Because I'm gonna go see my husband
Ah,
right now. And I
yeah. Oh,
thank you. Love you madly. I will speak with you soon, my darling. And
my pleasure.
you have
And
a
when they go, and I'm just gonna drink to that. We'll talk about that next time.
yes, and
Floasis Cellars.
oh yeah, and there will be another next time because she's. Oh
Oh
wait a minute,
yes,
Floasis Cellars wines. You
yes.
have a sparkling, you have a Chardonnay, and you have a Sauvignon. And you have a Sauvignon.
And a
No,
Cabernet. Yes,
Cabernet, and they're
yes.
delicious.
When they reach out to me, I can send them all the information on the wine, on the energy, all of that.
Good.
Yes,
We love you. Talk to you
yes.
later, baby.
I love you. Thank you so much, my
Mm.
sister.
Ciao, Bella. Well, my
Ciao.
darlings. Whoo! Where is your intention? What is your intention and where is your attention? Wow, that's powerful. You know what else I love about that is Jaaz speaking about not asking for a result or looking for a result, but what is behind that? What is the feeling? Because that's what it really comes down to is how do we want to feel? so we can get out of our heads and we can really get into our souls and our our true essence and energies. I'll tell you something I did recently. I thanks K9 for saying it was profound. It was wonderful, wasn't it? I before I went on to this job, as you know, I chant, and I was chanting for, oh, I want them to like me. I want them to want me to come back. I want this and this and this, and had a few meetings before I left, and it came to my awareness that that wasn't the prayer. The prayer was, let me be a light to everyone I meet. Let my professionalism be something that is a blessing on this show. Let my positive energy be something, another energy that they've wanted. That's a great addition to this. And I'm going to tell you, and there were some other things that I said, and you guys, I was free. It wasn't about me. Because when I was all up in me, I want this, I want that, I want this and that from that limited me. Because then the mind starts thinking about, am I getting it? Am I getting what I'm asking for, what I want, Instead of opening my heart and my hands and my spirit, wanting to be a blessing to others. Changes the game, y'all. Changes the game. And I want you to change your game and make sure your vision is happening. So I'm sending you mad love and light to have a wonderful week, you guys. And we'll have Miss Jaaz back again. And Philly will return. He's just busy doing some other things. So in the meantime, in between time, have yourselves a beautiful, wonderful, fabulous week. I'll catch you on the flip side. And also remember how I always like to end my show with night, Philly.